What's um I'm just giving you what my girl thought of the movie. That's all. And I explained this before. Me and my girl so far have always thought 100% the exact same thing when it comes to a movie. And I was going to record it without her knowing. I just, while I talk on the phone, I hit record, and I was going to upload it, so you can at least see how she talks about a movie and stuff. But she was using certain people's names as in the real world, not the movie. So it wouldn't work. But because I could have told her don't use names, but I just wanted it to be real, like as in like and not like because she doesn't do videos like this. So I was just wanted to be like just get a little taste of how what she thought of the movie. But so I can't use that. But when I left the movie, I text everyone and said, "This is the worst crap I've seen in over 5 years." And even her, like I did in a group text, and I asked her, you gonna see? You said, "Are you gonna go see that movie?" She says, "Well, kind of." And if I would have said, "No, don't go see this movie," just no, don't. It's a waste of money. She wouldn't go see it because she would take my word for it. But I'm not that kind of a person, and I have that kind of curious of wonder, could this be the one movie that we think differently, and she'll come out and be like, wow, that's great or something, because sometimes I'll be like lost when I see things on YouTube. I'm like, how is this possible? So I'm just wondering, is it ever possible for my girl to be like, think absolutely different than me about a movie? And no, she said this movie sucks. She said this movie is exactly what I said it was. It's painful to watch. It's painful to watch. And I asked her, was there any like rewind value or rewatch value, whatever. I mean, she said no. She said she thought the girl and the other guy fighting Superman was fine, but it's not there. But basically, no, there is nothing to rewatch again. So basically, that's really about all I'm going to say about that. But she said yes, this is exactly what I was saying. It is. So, but this is the thing. I want to say this because this is, this makes me odd about YouTube. So let's start over. Let's start with it. Okay. Like when like I said, I don't know if I want to go over the story of when I was attacking Batman v Superman before the movie came out, and it's the only mistake I've ever done when it comes to movie reviews. And when I was attacking it, I was attacking it for my certain reasons of not liking Zack Snyder for certain movies. Didn't know that I was being praised because there was this divide thing about Marvel and DC. I did not know that. So, and that was just odd. When I came out of the movie, I was like, people, you're going to be shocked, but I enjoy myself. I had several videos attacking, Batman Superman. When I, gave my review and I saw all the people's review, and I was like, what is going on? It was making literally no sense. And I learned about some Marvel, and somehow like they wanted X-Men from Fox to fail anything to give it to all to Disney. Now they all hate Disney now. It's kind of like that Trump era. They're just all fighting amongst each other now. So once they run out of something to be mad about, they fight amongst each other. And that's why I said, when people give me view responses, like some Trader Trash drains people, when I just stop responding, like giving view responses back to anyone, they start fighting amongst each other. But, so they need something to hate. So, but the thing is, what I'm trying to get into the point is what I'm saying, what makes like, it's so like weird to be on YouTube. These are all the things I'm trying to get into. Is one is I'll get this out of the way so I can get into the weird kind of really weird kind of stuff. But this is weird. It is weird of the dumb crap they were trying to say about Batman v Superman. And when I say that, I'm kind of really saying that because all the reviews I've ever seen Batman v Superman, not one person said anything that sound right. And the thing is, it would be like the weird things like angry Superman. I don't see that, but I did see this in this Superman movie that came out. And or I don't know what it is. Something about Superman whining. He says I didn't like Zack Snyder's of Superman whining. What scene? Like he's a whiny Superman. And the thing is, I seen that about when it comes to hate people who talk about movies. They say these people are all whining through the whole movie. It's like no, they're not. But anyways, that's not the thing. But a point is, but I just see people go try so hard to attack a movie that's actually good and then go all out praise only on social media and praise the worst shit I've ever seen. Like I said, how Batman v Superman was attacked, and then what was it called? Justice League 2017 was praised, saying they finally got the formula right. And as you know, this movie here. But so back to what I was also saying, that stuff is just like I can't understand, but I do want to understand and make sure it's clear why I'm getting at. It's the kind of guys I see on YouTube. I really feel like being on the internet, it is for people who can't associate with people in the real world, and that's all they got. That's the only scenario why this is so common. Like I said, I see a bunch of single dudes on YouTube, and but anyway, so like I was saying, so it had that that divide thing about Marvel versus DC. But what was the other thing? It was just like, and so it felt weird, to know that I was being praised for that kind of reason when I had my other reasons. Or if I'm saying a movie sucks like Star Wars, The Force Awakens. I was saying Star Wars, my reasons was saying Star Wars, they're not really good, they're okay, or they suck. They're not as what people hanging on one color say they are. And when I was saying Star Wars: The Force Awakens suck, it was weird. I was being praised because they were thinking the Finimus, yeah, Finimus. My thing is Star Wars suck. Their reasons is the Finimus. Star Wars is always bad. Back then was great, but now it's a Finimus. So it was like hard to sometimes talk about a movie saying it sucked because you knew the people that were agreeing with me was for a agenda. And then I got to a point where I was blocking people that agree with me too extreme, and they were like saying it's like, yeah, man, this movie's terrible. I was like, The Force Awakens wasn't terrible, it sucked, or whatever. And I went to their channel to find out that they've been watching hate channels, and that was a common thing. That's all they watched was hate channels. So it was like it's that weirdness right there. And I had more of them where I always were game wise or something, or certain things are just off the wall where the complaints just literally make no sense. Like I said, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Their complaints is they killed Batman when the game is called Kill the freaking Justice League. It makes you think that these are people that are not there, as in social media. I'm trying to get to the point is make sure you understand. I just feel honestly weird on social media. Because it's things that it's that Trump era where it just feels like this should be impossible to not see like the Superman movie and not see shit. Like complete shit, or and knowing what they will want to attack. But whatever. But hopefully you don't get the other things while I was forget the other things while I was talking about. It's weird. Like I'm coming up with logic reasons to dislike something, and social media comes up with things like what, Finimus or whatever, some dividing thing that they came up with. PS4 fan, DC fan, whatever, all that crap. Zack Snyder fan, whatever they come up with. My block list has been feeling really good lately. I've been loving blocking. Yeah, I always block dividing people. But next thing is I did the responses to this one guy who was like trying to attack X-Men Dark Phoenix. He went through his whole review not saying one thing wrong with the movie. And then he had a whole bunch of likes and barely any dislikes when they used to show that, right? And then I was attacking him, and he gave me a comment and says, yeah, this is not one of my best reviews, but guess what? But look at your likes. Your review was bad, even you not acknowledge it, and look at your likes. And this is a video response I did. But guess what? Let's go to your It remake. You are saying facts. What's wrong with this movie? You are making very good, valid points. What's wrong with the remake to it? Look at your dislikes compared to your likes. Your dislikes went way over your likes. And as I said, it's a weird thing. There's so many other examples I can come up with, but I was saying that you see how this movie, you made literally no points of talking about this movie, couldn't come up with one thing. Look at your likes and barely any dislikes. You are saying some logical things about it remake, saying how all the problems with it. Look, your likes can barely even stand a chance to your dislikes. And that's the weird thing about YouTube. I'm saying it just feels like weirdo-ness, and it's just weird. I mean, I do understand that. I really do believe that people like that, they have given up in life, so that all they feel is they have to go with that hate and get into. They said that's why people get into that Jeff Epstein, or whatever, that prison guy who killed himself in prison, because they want to be in a cult, because it feels like something like people, a connection with other people. That's why certain people, I'm very careful of responding to review responses, because they think there was a friendship. And I explained that before, and talking about killing themselves, blaming me for their feelings. So I really believe that social media is strange, and it's just really beneath me. But I love talking about movies and stuff, but it's just like the fact of talking to movies with who? It's kind of like video games. I'm acknowledging playing with video games. You are not playing with lawyers, doctors, engineers. You are not playing with those kind of people. You're playing with, majority of the time, people who dropped out of high school who can't keep a job. I'm being serious. That's what basically when I play online with people, they're talking about how they're getting high right now. They need to take a smoke break. They're living with their parents. It's something not going right. And some kids are just like saying, "Hey, can I suck your?" Actually literally saying that, just being silly. But at the same time, I was not like that when I was a kid. It's still, But yeah, but that's the point, people. It's just, and to me, like, I don't know what kind of mind that is, but it'd be like a mind I wouldn't want to not know that the Superman movie sucked. I don't. That's just what I would picture is you're going to be looking deranged. There is going to be something wrong with you, and that's why I said it just feels weird to knowing that is even possible to look at that shit. I did kind of watch Jeremy Spotter review. He did make some points about if Lex wanted to kill Superman, why didn't he do it right then? There was other things wrong with the movie, but I don't care to talk about that movie. But my girl said, yes, this movie was exactly what I said. And yeah, that's all right. All right, peace.